Hey party people, I'm Kelly.
And I'm Bean.
And we're Kelly Beans Beast. We're first-time beekeepers here in Central Virginia, and today we are picking up from the cliffhanger that we left you on.
So if you didn't watch the last video, go back and watch it. We talked a lot about honey, we talked a lot about nectar, honey supers, all that kind of fun stuff. It's really the first time we got a chance to talk about it, so it'll be a cool video to watch if, you don't know much about honey or kind of what happens in the hive.
Yeah, and hopefully you'll learn something from it. So now we're going to dig into the cookie dough hive, and we're going to be trying to figure out, are we going to take a couple of frames from the honey super? We don't know.
Yep, so there's a couple of things we're looking for down here. Obviously, we're still looking for brood, we're looking for eggs. We want to make sure that the queen is here and healthy. We're going to look through and check for how many resources they have down here. And based on all of that, well, mostly the resources, we may end up taking some honey. So stick around till the end of the video when we try to figure that out.
Cross your fingers for us. And we don't know the answer yet.
No, we don't. We're figuring it out with you. That's
so it's not like we're holding out for you.
No,
we really don't know.
Yeah, we're not like making a cliffhanger just because we want to and build suspense. We're looking into it now. This is kind of what beekeeping is. You don't know what you're going to get into when you go in.
We're on a cliffhanger right now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway. This frame out here, the edge frame, they've started to draw it out. They haven't really done much with it, but that's fine. In a 10-frame box, a lot of the times, they won't do a lot with the edge frames if they have extra space. So they've had space up above them in the super, so they aren't doing much out here. That's fine.
Should we look for their activity in the middle?
Yes. And one thing we can do if we want to is take these edge frames and move them to the center, and that will promote them to draw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not super worried about it in this hive, but we'll look into it. So then...
starting to draw.
Bowed out some.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do anything.
Ooh. Make sure you don't get stung. So Bean's pressing, trying to get the bow out, but I don't know.
We'll see.
I don't know.
If not, it should be okay.
I told him not to get stung because he's wearing goat skin gloves and they don't keep stingers out. He's been stung a couple of times in the hands. Not today.
Not too much, though.
I think only really one time.
Yeah, I think only one time that it's gotten through the glove.
Yeah. So.
Alright, well, that didn't really help. But I don't really want to mess with it either because they're already living on it. They're already drawing it out. It'll be okay. It's not the best, but it's not the end of the world, so.
Yeah. Ooh, you feel that breeze, buddy? There's brood on this side.
Yeah, I've got eggs all through here. Eggs, larvae. Here. This will be a good frame to look into.
Hold on, I gotta move this for a second.
Sure. So, with some of these frames, they are black plastic foundation like this one. So it actually makes it really easy to look in and spot all the eggs. Like right down there, bottom center, there's so many eggs down there. You can just at a glance see them. And then there are some of them that we ended up getting with the nukes that are different. They're either a lighter color foundation, some of them the bees like drew out the comb themselves and there's just wire in there, and so it's a little harder to actually see what's going on down in it. But with the black plastic foundation, it's a really good way for you all to actually see what I'm looking at.
Would you buy again?
Oh yeah, this seems to have done really well. The bees have drawn it out, obviously. They aren't really like slow to take it, I don't think. I don't really have much reference to it, but I can tell when we put it in here, the bees start working it pretty quickly. Like when we were coming every week, we would come and they'd have another couple of frames drawn out. So
perfect.
We would need to do more experiments if we really wanted to know like what was the best foundation. But I have heard people say that this is pretty high up there. Acorn is another one that's really good. We haven't used it personally, but people have said that pretty much this is Premier Foundation from Hilco.
Hilco.
And then, well, technically it's Premier Foundation from... we ordered it from Hilco, so Premier is the brand.
Gotcha.
And then Acorn is the other one that's like really good that I've heard people talk about. So
Hilco's a local place and
not local.
Not local. I mean, it's like family owned local.
Yeah,
like that
a small business, not local.
Sorry.
But it's
not local to us. They're local on the internet.
I think they're in Illinois.
Illinois or Indiana or something.
Yeah, one of those states up there. But if you order more than $100 of stuff, they'll give you free shipping. So. Yeah. When you're ordering bee equipment, $100 really doesn't go that far. So we've had free shipping every time we've ordered things.
Yeah.
So.
And they do giveaways sometimes too. We haven't won anything, but fingers crossed for us.
I do have some nectar and some honey up here with a lot of brood up around the top, which is
Yeah.
good to see.
And that is a light colored brood, so that means it's newer.
Yep.
The bees haven't walked on it as much.
Yep.
This one has honey, about
Yep.
half.
A lot of nectar. You can see over here there's a lot of big larvae. Those will probably be capped soon. They were probably laid a little bit after the rest of this brood.
They're chunky monkeys.
Yeah, I've got a lot of honey here, as you were saying. I've got eggs down in the middle. I've got brood around the edges, eggs around the edges.
Nice.
So yeah, this hive's looking pretty good. I think we're going to keep looking. And I'm not going to say anything for certain. But I'm leaning towards the fact that we may take 1 or 2 frames for now. And we'll figure out what we could do with them. And, at least we'll have some kind of honey extraction this year. Because,
About to call my aunt and
especially
uncle.
with this frame,
Oh, yeah.
they're storing a lot of honey down here. So, it's not just, oh yeah, over here too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the next frame. Okay, we're going to take honey off of this hive.
I don't want to tell you what I think we might do.
This frame, even in that center section where the brood was, that's all nectar.
Yeah.
They've been doing such a great job bringing things in.
I'm
Again,
telling
this
you,
is...
Cookies elite.
I know. This is the
I
hive
wish that man
we've
would have
had-
given us 2 cookies.
This is the hive we've had the least issues with. The chunky monkey hive swarmed, so...
But I think it was for the better.
Yeah, I think so. So we ended up splitting that hive in half and then using queen cells from each side. And then we boosted the fish food hive with the cookie dough hive because they needed to be split because they were growing too large. And because of both of those things, the other 2 hives just ended up being a little bit smaller. The fish food hive isn't far behind this one, but this one has been rolling the entire time. They've had a queen the whole time, so they've just had a bigger workforce. So they've been able to do a lot more than the other hives.
Yeah.
The other 2 hives, they had to hatch out queens, the queens had to mature, they had to go on mating flights, then they could start laying eggs. And then
that takes time.
Right, because the thing is, it's 21 days for a worker bee from the time the egg is laid until the time it's hatched. And it can't go out and fly and grab nectar at that point. It still has to mature for another couple of weeks before it's fine to do that.
Yeah.
It stays in the hive until then, working on all the jobs here locally. So when you're talking about that, if you don't have a queen, it's probably going to take you about a month to get the queen back and ready to lay, and then it's going to take almost another month before those bees
babies.
are even hatching.
Yeah.
And then another month after that before they're ready to fly out. So the process of getting new queens, splitting the hive, all that, takes time.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to see all these other hives a little bit behind. But it's great to see that we have one of the hives that's really just packing away honey. The other side of this frame's the same. Yeah, we're going to take honey off of this. There's no question in my mind at this point. The last time we were out here, they didn't have frames like
No,
this.
they didn't.
It didn't look like this. It was...
Let me
just
tell you, though,
brood.
3 weeks makes a difference.
Yeah, it does. It's been 3 weeks since we've been out here. Which, as I said in another video, originally we started with coming out here every week because the hives were trying to swarm so hard. Because
And
they
we
didn't
were
have,
crunching cells.
Yeah, they didn't have a ton of room. They were still building out. Like, it was a prosperous time of the year. It was spring. There was a lot of pollens coming in from, like, the maples. There was
Do you
honey
need to
coming
spray
in.
your hand from that?
No, it should be okay. If they start coming for it, then yeah, I will. But I
So,
don't remember. if
did
I
you
pulled
crush
this
one or one stung you or what?
One got its stinger in me. I don't know.
Yeah, so when they do that, they put out a pheromone. So that's why I asked Bean if he needed to be sprayed.
So there's a little bit of a cup down here, maybe. I'm gonna pull the whole thing off, and I'm gonna give it to you to use as wax.
Perfect. One time he gave me one and it had stuff in it.
Oh yeah, we had larvae in a couple of them.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Nasty little grubs.
Yeah, because
This is my collection
we kind of just
today.
squished that into a big ball with all of the other comb that we had. So when Kelly went to clean it all out, she was just pulling grubs out of her ball of wax.
Yeah.
This is looking good. They've
with
got
the dirt. Ugh.
They're drawn out over here. They're drawn out the next frame. They've got honey. They've got pollen in here. This is
They've got
looking
it all.
really good. They're barely starting to draw out that edge frame, which again, 10 frame box. Not super
too
worried about
bad.
the edge frames. If we want, at some point, we can move those into the center. Not really worried about it right now. They look like they're doing the work they need to. Like that frame, they're starting to draw it out.
Yep.
I don't need to do anything with that. I don't need to push them.
The breeze feels good today, buddy.
It does.
We're in
So
a
Kelly
heated
commented
brasserie.
on it earlier. my gloves, you can't see it as much now, but like there, that's my sweat that's been coming off my face and landing on my gloves.
It's on your
a
other
little warm
glove
out.
too.
Yeah.
That one's maybe even better.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so today in Virginia, it's the end of July. Well, I guess we got about another week. But we're in a heat advisory. It's supposed to feel like, I think, 105 or something. And, yeah, so we're thriving.
Yeah. So, you know, if you watch our videos and you're thinking about getting into beekeeping, you think this will be cool and fun,
It ain't for the faint of heart, y'all.
be aware that a lot of the work that goes into this happens around this time of year. Like, this is when the boxes are the heaviest, you're having to move the most, you might be doing honey extraction, which is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you don't like being outside in the heat, just
Luckily,
consider that.
Yeah, luckily we're in the shade right now, which is nice.
Yeah, our bee yard is in a place where probably until like 1 or 2 o'clock it's shady,
Yeah.
which I've heard that you have less problems with hive beetles if it's in full sun all day. But this is, you know, we're on someone else's land. This isn't where we live. We can't have bees where we live. So I am appreciative for anything that we're given, and this is a wonderful spot, especially because the shade keeps us cool.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's pros and cons to any place that you're going to have bees, and
Sure.
we can accept the cons of having a couple more hive beetles for what we have.
Yeah. All right, buddy, so we're already over almost at the 12-minute mark.
Oh, okay. Well,
So I think we're going to probably end up doing, 2 more videos, probably, right?
yeah,
Going
maybe.
through this and then doing whatever with the honey.
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
I don't know. Okay.
I don't think there's going to be that much that we're really doing with the honey itself. We're pretty much just taking it off.
You can take a video of me holding it,
Oh, yeah.
walking to the car.
Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll bring you along for whatever we end up doing. As I said, unless there's something crazy down here that just completely changes my mind, I'm pretty sure we're going to be taking honey off of this hive.
Perfect.
So we'll bring you along for that and kind of show you what we're going to do.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for being here. We will see you on the next one. And
Bees out.
peace out, y'all.